Hi, welcome to the video guide for renewing your certificates for Putnam County short-term rentals. If you're renewing hotels and motels, the process is basically the same, so stick around. I'm Eliza with Trust Exchange Customer Success, and this tutorial is to refresh your memory on how to submit and track your application and access your certificate once it's issued. Maybe you'll learn a few new tricks along the way. There are three basic parts. Part 1, fill out your renewal form. You can always print it, fill it out, and scan it back into your computer. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to submit your renewal form all online using Adobe Acrobat Reader. Part 2 is submitting your application on Trust Exchange, which takes about 2 minutes. Part 3 is what happens after submission. I'll briefly show you how to look at your timeline and how to view or send a message to a county department if needed. You can always access this video again using the blue Guides and Help button when logged into Trust Exchange. So let's get into it. Part 1. Let's log in, get our application, and fill it out. I'll begin by following the site link in my renewal email, which brings me to government.trustexchange.com/login. I'm using Google Chrome as my browser, which is most compatible with the site. Current browsers like Safari and Firefox will work well too. I'll log in to my user account. For users, the welcome message should pop up automatically. For me, I need to go into Guides and Help at the bottom right corner and trigger that workflow myself. You can also do this anytime you want to run through a guide flow. Just head to that bottom button on the right side that says Guides and Help. All right, let's say get started. We've got 3 options. Get our application form, submit it, view the application status. For now, we just need to get our application form. I'm doing a private residence, so I'm going to select short-term rental. We're doing renewals. The form will appear in one of 2 ways, either in a new tab up top like mine, or it downloads to your PC so you can access from the downloads folder on your computer. If you need help getting the free Adobe Acrobat Reader, you can find links in the Trust Exchange guides under Tech Facts. If it opens in a tab, it will look like this. This is because I have the Adobe Acrobat extension installed on Google Chrome. I find the desktop app a little easier, so I'm going to go to the top right up here and select Open in Desktop App. I'll use my most completed form as an example. So we read through, we fill out the form, fill in all the blanks, make sure you check all the correct boxes, just be as thorough as possible. You'll notice most of it is just fillable. You click it and you fill. And then you get to the digital signature. And when you click to sign, something different happens. It's going to prompt you to configure a digital ID. Now you can click this and follow the prompts and configure a digital ID to sign this. But I find there's another way that's a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel and do it differently. Look over at this right toolbar, scroll down, and find the purple pencil button that says Fill and Sign. When I click this, you'll see now at the top of the screen, there's an option that's appeared. Let's click it and add a signature. And we'll apply it. And then, lo and behold, your cursor actually turns into your signature. And you can drag and drop and put it exactly where you want it in order to finish filling out your form. Now we're going to go to File and Save As. We'll use Save As instead of just regular save because we want to be able to change the name of our application to something that's distinct. So we're going to call this Myrtle's Cottage 2023 Renewal. Just so that it sticks out to the county clerk as a different application and not the generic form. And hit Save. And that's it. Our form is filled out. So I'm going to head back over to Trust Exchange. Tell it I'm finished. It says thank you. And now we're going to move on to the second part, which is real quick, submitting the application itself that we just filled out on Trust Exchange. I'm going to come down here to the name of my property, Myrtle's Cottage. And this another pop-up comes up that gives you guidance for submitting an application, sending a message, or viewing the application status. Since I'm here and I'm driving, I'm going to go ahead and X this out and show you myself. but you can always access these pop-ups yourself at any time by going down to our handy dandy bottom right corner blue button Guides and Help. First, I'm going to create an application event. It's like a post. It's the thing that's going to hold the document itself. That button is kind of near the left top corner of our profile called Add Event. We're going to select the event that we want, which is, in my case, application for a short-term vacation rental certificate. And this form pops up. Here's our event form. The date, fine. Private is good. Now this is the spot where we're going to slow down for a second because this is key and easy to miss. There's two different kinds of permissions on Trust Exchange. There's viewing permissions and there's editing permissions. Now for an application, we're going to want to share editing permissions with our whole group. And everybody has their own group. It's going to have the approvers and myself in it, and it's called Putnam County Clerk Myrtle's Cottage. I'm just going to start typing in Myrtle, and it pops up. So now I've given permission to edit to all of the approvers and myself. It's a renewal application. Good deal. And then I'm going to attach a document. Now, if you're like me and you're doing a renewal, you've already got some different forms and files in here, but we're adding something new. So we'll go up to the right here and click Add File. We're going to browse. And there I find my new 2023 renewal form. Let's open it up. Now this little pop-up is going to say, hey, are you sure you're sharing with all the right people? Because you have to share the document the same way that you have to share the event itself. But fortunately, since I followed all the steps in the correct order, Trust Exchange automatically added the correct group for me. I can see that Myrtle Cottage demo is going to be able to see the document itself and the event that it's sitting inside of. So I'm going to say save. And since it's so important, it's going to ask you to confirm. Is it shared with the necessary groups? Yeah, it is. Confirm and continue. Now we can see it's attached. If we needed to remove it and put something else in there, we could. But we know we did it right, so we're going to go back to form. Could leave a comment if I wanted to. I had nothing I need to say, so I'm going to save and continue. Now we'll take a look at where the application shows up on our timeline. If your view looks a little different, you may need to click on a tab that says timeline. Where I'm at right now, it just has it big and bold right here. So this is where I'm going. Here on our timeline, we scroll down, and there's our new application for 2023. Done and done. Submission complete. We can go back and look at it. We can edit it. People are going to be able to get to it who need to get to it. Nobody who isn't supposed to see it will be able to see it. Perfect. Now, if I haven't paid my fees yet, it's always never too late. You can click on Guides and Help on the bottom, and this link will take you to go pay your fees. So now our submission is complete, and which brings us to the third part, which involves monitoring your property's application and communicating about it as it progresses through the system. On this property page, let's scroll down to look at the timeline for last year's certificate. You see my application last December, the document review, the tax review, fire safety, which your renewal won't need. That's for first-time people only. The final review, and then the short-term rental certificate itself. It's all here on the timeline, so you can follow along and see where you're at. During the review process, you will receive a few different alerts up here in this corner, a little bell, and by email. The first will be whether you submitted all the information you needed or not. My alert says, documents for the most current STR application have been verified, criteria met. Great, that means that I filled out the application correctly. If you receive an alert that additional information is needed, please log in and go to your company profile. In here, up near the top, you should see a message from the clerk in the timeline, and that'll tell you what additional information is needed. If you need to send more information, please do not send it in a new application event. Instead, what we'll do is create a special event that's called a message event. A message event is the best way to submit additional information if it's needed. We'll go up here to Add Event. Let's say the county clerk informed us in our timeline that we forgot to sign our document. So we sign it, we get it all set up, and we are going to send it to her not in a new application, but in a message to a county department. This message is to the county clerk, but she's not going to need to edit it. She's just going to need viewing permissions. So instead of doing editing for our group, this time for this message event, let's just go ahead and give viewing permissions. I'm the only one who needs to edit it since this is a message directly from me. I'll add comments if needed. I'll attach the updated document. Go ahead and save and continue. Now just make sure that you select the department that you want your messages to, because that's the thing that's going to let them know that there's a message for them to go look at inside Trust Exchange. So we're good to go. Done and done. On the flip side, if you receive an email alert at any point that says, no new messages for profile owner in past 24 hours, criteria unmet in red, it means that someone has written a note to you. Maybe the tax office has a question. Log in, go to your profile timeline to view the message, again up near the top, and respond with your own message to the county department, this time selecting, instead of the county clerk, the tax office. Once everything has gone through the approval process, you will receive your final alert when your certificate has been issued in an email and under your little bell that says, STR certificate has been issued and is current. Criteria met. Log in, go to your company profile, find the certificate event, like this one from last year, select more details, and there you'll be able to access your certificate as well as a second document. Now, if you rent through a company like Airbnb or Vrbo, you don't need this document. If you're managing your rental yourself, this monthly tax reporting document is for you. Please message the county clerk if you have any questions. So that's our recap for renewals. We know how to 1. Access and fill out a renewal application, 2. How to submit it in Trust Exchange, and 3. How to monitor and communicate about your application as it's processed. Now remember, you can access help in Trust Exchange using the Guides and Help button. You can link to pay fees. You can pull up pop-up guides for different tasks. You can go to the Tech Facts for some helpful tips. Or if you have another question, click Get Help and send us a message on the help desk. Thanks for watching and happy renting.